Timmy Joe reviews anything.
Reviewing computer parts on YouTube.
That's
Woo! Gotta be pumped on that, right, Will? Computer parts! Woo!
Oh yeah.
What's going on, people? It's Timmy Joe making videos about computers all up on the internet. And you know what? We'll just get right to the chase. I did a video recently. It's a little series that I've started. 2080 Ti 9900K versus insert old video game here. And of course, we had to do Crysis. Previous to that, I did Max Payne. Both videos have done very well, but the Crysis video has done exceedingly well. And I wanted to follow that up. You know, it'd be crazy not to, you know, let it ride with the algorithm. But my next installment in this series, which might be a little game that starts with an H and has a second H, and it just released a game where you're gonna have to put some glasses on in the near future to play it. At least announce this game. We're gonna do that later, so stay tuned for that. But I do have a pretty, you know, good follow-up here. A lot of people in that Crysis video where I basically ran Crysis, you know, from 2007 on extremely high-end specs that were unconceivable at the time in 2007, right? You know, I you know, saw how it ran. We did a retrospective on it. A lot of people were saying, why didn't you go and, you know, run the Crysis on a minimum spec computer? Because if you know, the minimum specs on Crysis are a P4, 2.8 gigahertz or 3.2 gigahertz for Vista, or faster, or a Core 2 system at 2 gigahertz, or an AMD Athlon 2800 or 3200 for Vista. Okay, and you gotta have a video card of at least an NVIDIA 6800 GT or greater, or an ATI 9800 Pro or greater, with at least 256 megabytes of VRAM. So I have the absolute perfect candidate to run that on. I'm sorry I didn't do it in the original video. The original video is like 21 minutes long. I couldn't do everything in it, but this is a wonderful little side piece here, and this lets me show off a really interesting computer here. This is a Voodoo PCs boutique custom computer maker from the year 2000s into maybe 2011 when they were bought out by Hewlett-Packard. But this is an OG Voodoo Monsoon, and it might just be the oldest computer with a side window in it ever. This might be the originator of the acrylic or glass side panel, which is pretty damn awesome. So this computer is from 2001. It's very hard to find information on it. You might find some Maximum PC, you know, articles on it. That's about it. And this computer would have originally had probably more like a 1 gigahertz Thunderbird CPU in it and an older video card, but this one was actually upgraded at one point. And I'll thank my buddy Tyler. He always brings me the weirdest computers, and this is the absolute perfect candidate to run the minimum system requirements of Crysis on, because it has the minimum, well, we're gonna make it have the minimum system requirements-ish. So check this out. Acrylic window comes off. This would have been a case you could have bought, and yes, it is extremely loud. I mean, you saw it start up, right? It's insane how loud it is. There's a 90 mil fan in here that's probably blowing at like 2,500 RPM. There's one blowing out the back. And then this, you might have thought it was in the window. No, this is a floating fan blowing at the GPU because they were so hot back then and had such inadequate cooling, and it's just floating on a bracket on the PCIe slots there, or PCI slots, I should say, you know, back here. But this here has been upgraded from probably a 1 gigahertz Thunderbird CPU to a Athlon XP 3200 Plus, which meets our Vista minimum system requirements, which will give it a little bit of an edge. It has 1 gig of DDR1 memory. It's got an IDE, you know, regular old spinny hard drive, and it's got, you know, it's actually working here. It's running XP. I grabbed one of my CRT monitors out of the attic so that we could have, you know, a pretty simple, you know, I got my Microsoft IntelliMouse here, and this is going to be a really fun look back on Crysis trying to run it on the minimum specs. But the video card in here actually isn't good enough. It's a 9700 from ATI with an all-in-wonder in it. So this was a video card that they used to, it was all right for gaming, the 9700 version, but they strapped basically a TV tuner onto it so that you could run this as a media center. There's even some software on this thing that would have allowed you to download like a your programming guide for your cable provider at the time, which was pretty cool. And this actually has one of the original installs of XP on it, because all of the icons are Voodoo icons and the backgrounds of Voodoo background and stuff like that. So that's really, really cool. So I went ahead and installed Crysis on this thing. It's extremely loud, original, probably OG side window. And what's so cool is they made this side window. This case didn't come with the side window. They actually, I believe, painted with car paint. The inside's red, because a lot of the original I see actually has a gray inside, which would, what you'd expect in a computer like this. They painted the insides red just for a little bit of aesthetic reasons, so it would look good. And then they actually dremeled or like cut off wheeled out this really half-ass bad cutout here, put some acrylic, and then there's like aluminum, you'd use for a picture frame, and it's like barely hanging on by a thread there. That's OEM stuff from Voodoo, but this case would have been modded, at the factory or whatever in order to look cooler, which I really, really dig. It really reminds me of the turn of the century there and what would have been cutting edge. And with that side window on here, it actually looks pretty futuristic. It looks pretty interesting. So we'll go ahead and put this stuff back on. We'll be removing it in a second, probably to put the 9800 Pro in there, which I do have over here. Of course, I have a 9800 Pro. This would have been the minimum graphics card, and I think this is a 256 version. So that's minimum VRAM, minimum graphics card, and we have a Athlon 3200 here, not a 2800 plus, a 3200 plus. I'm sure that won't make much difference with Crysis, but it'll help it out a little bit. So let's go ahead and see if we can even launch Crysis here, and then we'll get into what it looks like if we can actually get it running on a system that's basically from about 2003 in a chassis that's from 2001, and run 2007's Crysis on the absolute bare minimum specs. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come with me. All right, so there's several hours later, and it's never as easy as you'd hoped, right? So I'm sorry, the computer's right beside me, and it's open and it's very loud, even though I disconnected 2 of the 4 fans, 5 if you count the GPU, as well as I was going to try and run Crysis on the 9700, but it don't work. It's only got 128 megs of VRAM, and 9800, which is the minimum spec requirement, has 256 megs. And it works. And then I set it up to the capture card, and I can't actually go any lower than 720p with this setup for some reason. I swear that I have done that prior to this, like hooked up into my capture card at 800 by 600, and it worked, and other monitors and stuff. Something with this setup, digital, won't go any lower than 720p. So we're gonna have to run Crysis 720p. So here we are, powerful personal computers, Voodoo, with that Voodoo background, those Voodoo icons, this Voodoo theme for Windows XP. And if we load this up, there's an interesting little tidbit in here. The CPU is an AMD Athlon 64 3200 plus. I thought it was an Athlon XP 3200 plus, but no, that's a different. I don't even think that is a CPU. There's a 2800 that's on the socket A, like the Thunder or like the original socket. But this is like actually a more modern socket, and it's the first consumer 64-bit CPU. So some hardcore stuff going on here. We see here AMD Athlon 64 32-bit plus claw hammer on socket 754, running at 1.48 volt stock at 2 gigahertz with an Asus K8 VSEDX. And here we go, 1 gigabyte of DDR memory. There's 2 DIMMs, actually some nice Corsair ones in there, and they got heat spreaders on them. But single channel we're limited to. And then if we go over to graphics, see you got that 9800 Pro, and I finally got it all installed. So let's go ahead and get MSI Afterburner is open, right? It is. So we'll get that on the D, and then we're load up Crysis. It also wasn't that easy to get Crysis to load, but I have installed Crysis, and Crysis loads and seems to be doing its thing. There we go. We were loaded up, and this Crysis menu looks pretty good. It looks like it's running the way it's supposed to. So we'll just go in here real quick and show you system settings, and we've got 720p there, and advanced all low quality settings, and you can't get any lower. So this is the lowest of the low. This is not going to look good by any means. All right, so the plane is there, and it's actually working on this 3200 plus Athlon 64-bit processor, 1 core at 2 gigahertz.
You still with us?
Yeah, I'm here with you. Your eyes are black. What is wrong with your eyes, sir?
Intel reports a significant military.
There is definitely some audio lag going.
Surprise. So let's use it.
But I mean, it doesn't look the worst, right?
Can it, Psycho?
Can it, Psycho? Eye for night vision. We got night vision working. Ooh. Cinematic 15 frames a second as I fell there.
I'm okay. I'm okay. My HUD's scrambled.
Oh, this is not looking so hot, is it? I got my gun. Where's the turtle? Aww! Does the turtle go away just because of the low graphics? Where's the turtle? So you get no turtle. I can't throw the turtle in the water at low graphics at 720p. Alright, things are there are very much some load issues, some load-in issues. Watch those rocks just appear out of, hey, there's a crab. I shot a crab. Look at the black sky. Going invisible there, they can't even see me. I'm gonna come right up behind them, and I'm totally gonna shoot him in the back. Oh! Oh, there we go. Oh, there you are. How's it going, bud? Things are really laggy. I press buttons and nothing happens for a second. Look at you, buddy. You look good. Here, run. 18 frames a second. It's gonna be scary any minute now. Ah!
I'm on it.
So we're coming up on the best part of Crysis. It's the part where you come up on the island. It's right over this little ridge here, and you get to see the beautiful, visuals that Crysis has. It was like, wow, this is amazing. Even when you do it on a modern computer, these days it looks really good. Here we go. The sun's coming up, and oh yeah, that looks great. That looks great. But you know what? You gotta admit that this is running pretty damn good on a single core 2 gigahertz CPU with 1 gig of RAM with a Radeon 9800 with 256 megs of RAM, and it's running Crysis from 2007. Kind of champion-like. Like, I know that this isn't great, but it's certainly playable. Going real fast. Oh yeah, you're a target. There you go. I killed you. You can never find me. Look at these assets. Look at that. Oh, I could pick up the newspaper? I'm gonna go throw a newspaper at someone. Oh no, your newspaper! There you go. Ah, he died. Here, I'm gonna go invisible. Invisible. Oh no, I'm dying. There we go, invisible. And I'm gonna go, oh my god, this is getting really bad. Alright, I'm gonna grab enemy. There we go. Take this. Throw him! Throw him! Wow, this is so laggy. Alright, let's shoot him in the head. Oh, I got him. Alright, and we're gonna shoot this guy. There, I got him. There we go. Look at that. And there'll be guys on a boat over here, probably. Look how bad that looks compared to... Here, I'll show you the real visuals. It's actually kind of easier to play this game when the AI is all slow. Let's jump in the water. Kerplunk. And, enter vehicle. There we go. No, there we go. My gun's kind of floating there. Let's go for a ride in the bay. There we go. The trees have loaded and jump out! Yeah! Let's go punch some stuff. Let's break down. We'll break some stuff. You can't punch this thing down? What if I go maximum strength? What, you can't break shit? You can't break stuff in the game! That's so weird! Normally you'd be able to bust this thing down, but because I guess the physics and the graphics are too low, you can't do it. All right, so I have an idea. Let's crank the details up with the 9800 Pro and see how unplayable we can get this damn game. Graphics. So let's set them all to medium instead of low. Will it let me? It won't let me do that. We can't change any. Well, this is how you have to play it. I guess if you wanted to play Crysis back in the day and this is your computer, this is pretty high-end specs. Not for Crysis times, like maybe you got this as a hand-me-down, but this is very high-end specs for like 2003. This is top-of-the-line stuff. So, yeah, well, at least you can chop the trees down. Let's go for a little drive. The Koreans are getting me. Yeah, take that, jerk ass. We're gonna blow the boat to smithereens. It's gonna be awesome here. 2 sets of explosives. Let's watch this boat. No, don't go in the water, you damn rolling barrel. And 3, 2, 1. Boom! And the tree fell down. All right. Whoa! Let's get out of here! Alright, so I loaded up the CRT again because I wanted to see how it performs at 800 by 600, and that wasn't working with my capture card. Oh my goodness, Koreans everywhere, shoot them! And running at the lower resolution, oh my goodness, get out of here. It definitely runs better. It actually doesn't even look that bad at 800 by 600 on the CRT monitor because it's just, you know, it's a CRT. Who's shooting me? So many Koreans are shooting me. Get out of there! Quit. There we go. It's really hard to play when you have a ball mouse. Anyways, so yeah, that's playing Crysis on minimum system requirements. I mean, I had a lot of fun, didn't you? And we got this lovely Monsoon by Voodoo. Thanks, Tyler, for letting me show this crazy weird computer off on the channel. And this would have been a very high-end computer to buy. Probably would have cost you around $3,000 back in the day from the boutique company Voodoo. And it was a cool service where if you bought this computer in 2001 and then 2003 rolls around and your hardware's not looking so hot anymore, you could, you know, send it into them and they would upgrade it. I gotta admit, it ran Crysis way better, way more playable than I ever thought it was going to be. And I gotta give it credit. Minimum system requirements, like they locked out all the settings. We weren't able to bump the settings up or anything like that, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. So I'm on Watching Me Joe Instagram and Twitter. You'll see more 2080 Ti 9900K versus old game coming up on the channel soon. I've got lots of products to review. I've got lots of video stuff I'm working on. So hit the subscribe button, do all that YouTube junk. And I hope you had fun with me today playing Crysis on the minimum specs on a CRT, doing a little bit of you know, a retro thing here. And I think we finally answered that you can run Crysis on the minimum specs. Is it playable? Yeah. Is it a good idea? No. I'm not Watching Joe on Instagram, Twitter. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the future. And thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go play some Voodoo Monsoon games. Load up some old games on there. Doom 3 or something. Have a blasty blast. I'll see you guys later.